Detail makes the long journey north and has been put in as favourite at 7-4. To go 5-2 Bourbon Borderline. This is well backed 5-2, shot in from 7-2 for Dan and Harry Skelton. Tango Boy eased it back at 6-1. Likewise Piggy Winkle at 8-1. It's 12-1 and upwards then for the rest of the field, and they all go as shown in your morning papers. Method to the Madness has taken full advantage of a fitness the land at 12.45, making all the running to land this contest in the hands of Blair Campbell. Has benefited though from the favourite Jelski making a few serious errors and hanging right under pressure, whilst the Irish Odyssey on his first run for 18 months performed with credit, as did Black Ebony, who didn't look anywhere near fit enough, and he finished in 4th place. More actions have come from Carlisle at 1:15 when they'll be lining up for the second division of the novices hurdle, and Some Detail makes the long journey north and has been put in as favourite at 7-4. To go 5-2 Bourbon Borderline. This is well backed 5-2, shot in from 7-2 for Dan and Harry Skelton. Tango Boy eased it back at 6-1. Likewise Piggy Winkle at 8-1. It's 12-1 and upwards then for the rest of the field, and they all go as shown in your morning papers.
This event will start
Method
in 60
to
seconds.
the Madness has taken full advantage of a fitness the land at 12.45, making all the running to land this contest in the hands of Blair Campbell. Has benefited though from the favourite Jelski making a few serious errors and hanging right under pressure, whilst the Irish Odyssey on his first run for 18 months performed with credit, as did Black Ebony, who didn't look anywhere near fit enough, and he finished in 4th place. More actions have come from Carlisle at 1:15
30 seconds.
when they'll be lining up for the second division of the novices hurdle, and Some Detail makes the long journey north and has been put in as favourite at 7-4. To go 5-2 Bourbon Borderline. This is well backed 5-2, shot in from 7-2 for Dan and Harry Skelton. Tango Boy eased it back at 6-1. Likewise Piggy Winkle at 8-1. It's 12-1 and upwards then for the rest of the field, and they all go as shown in your morning papers. Method to the Madness has taken full advantage of a fitness the land at 12.45, making all the running to runners down at starts at Carlisle ahead of the second division of the novices hurdle. First division going to Method to the Madness, who made full use of her fitness advantage to score there. And the favourite here, Some Detail, is reappearing after a 7-month break. Hasn't been seen since finishing 7th in the champion bumper at Cheltenham. Bourbon Borderline, another returning from an absence, is second favourite at 9-4, whilst Tango Boy in the Tony Bloom colours is trading at 6s. 17-2 Piggy Winkle, who hasn't been seen since May, and it's at 16-1 and upwards at the rest of the field. So looking through the runners here, the one that's had the most recent run of these is Cawthorne, but he was tailed off last of 9 in his hurdling debut a couple of weeks ago, and is the 125-1 rank outsider for this. So Some Detail for Nigel Hawke, who does well in his raids here, and he's run at Some Detail, some good form in bumpers, particularly on soft ground, and rates the market leader here at 13-8 as they come out onto the track. Second favourite, Dan Skelton's Bourbon Borderline, Irish point-to-point winner, who finished 3rd in a Warwick bumper back in March, whilst Tango Boy, second run following wind surgery, first run in a tongue tie, winner at Market Raisin back in March, and that was on a soft surface. Eased the back here.
This event is forward. Now in play.
Worth noting his stable companion, who drifted to 20-1 from 4th, ran a big race in the previous race, finishing 3rd. Flags raised, they're off, and they're racing. And as they settle down, the first to show is Ask Himself. Not particularly strong pace, and a similar story in the first division of this contest. And Ask Himself for the Michael Scudamore stable in the hands of Brendan Powell, leads by a length and a half to Totally Rejected, who's sticking to the inside rail and racing a bit keenly. He's got Some Detail, the favourite, towards his outside in 3rd as they take the first. And we've lost one there. Cawthorne was down. There was a mistake at the first also from the favourite Some Detail. as they head down towards flight number 2, and the field already strung out. Ask Himself leading from Totally Rejected and Some Detail, and then towards the inside, Multelli. They're being followed a couple of lengths away by a Flamboyant Joyeux, who's racing on the inside of Tango Boy, and a couple of lengths then to Piggy Winkle as they head towards flight number 3, which will be lasting a circuit's time. All over that one safely, with Ask Himself leading Totally Rejected by a length and a half. A similar distance then to Some Details down the side, with Multelli up against the fence, and a break of a couple of lengths then to Tango Boy, who races on the outside of Flamboyant Joyeux. Bourbon Borderline is next in the field, and followed by Piggy Winkle. There's a gap then to Golden Chancer. So the field are racing into the bend that takes them away from the enclosures, and Ask Himself is now being pressed for the lead by Totally Rejected. It's a break of a couple of lengths then to Multelli on the inside of Some Detail, followed in turn by Tango Boy, Flamboyant Joyeux and Piggy Winkle. Bourbon Borderline is next, and a gap developing then to Golden Chance as they head into the dip on the far side of the track. Totally Rejected then switch to the outside of Ask Himself. They're the two leaders here, chased by Some Detail and Multelli. Behind them, Tango Boy, Flamboyant Joyeux, Bourbon Borderline and Piggy Winkle. And the back market is at Golden Chancer, some 10 lengths behind the leader, who's now Totally Rejected. Totally Rejected leading the field towards the first on the far side. Totally Rejected jumps it well, led by a length and a half from Ask Himself, with Some Detail travelling well third on the outside of Multelli. Tango Boy is next, and these opened up a 3-length advantage now to Bourbon Borderline as they race at the top of the hill and into the final 7 furlongs. And as they do so, Ask Himself has now moved back through on the inside, so Totally Rejected to have a share of the lead as they take the next flight of hurdles. Ask Himself going on there, Multelli moving into second now on the inside of Totally Rejected. Some Detail remains well there, along with Tango Boy as they take 4 from home. Ask Himself travelling well in front, Some Detail the favourite, now coming under a drive. Bourbon Borderline now beginning to take aim at the leaders as they begin the downhill run with 3 left to jump. Ask Himself stalked by Multelli. Totally Rejected remains well there, followed by Tango Boy, who travels well on the inside of Some Detail and is going to find it hard work from there. Bourbon Borderline just in behind the leaders, and they're pulling away from Piggy Winkle and Flamboyant Joyeux. So 3 left to jump. Ask Himself now asking some questions of his rivals here. One by one they're coming under pressure. Totally Rejected has dropped away over the third last. Ask Himself goes on by 2 to Multelli, a further 2 then to Tango Boy, and they're clear of Some Detail and Bourbon Borderline, but 2 flights left to jump, none going better than Ask Himself. Ask Himself for the Michael Scudamore stable jumps the second last well. Multelli, the only one giving chase in second. They're well clear of the remainder. 1 left to jump. Ask Himself now comes under a drive. Multelli now pulled towards the stand side, is now launching a strong challenge at the final flight. Now Ask Himself, Multelli take off on land together there. 12 lengths clear of Tango Boy into the final furlong, and Multelli has now struck the front. Multelli fits from the flat and is now beginning to assert in the closing stages, and Multelli is driven out here, storming right away here to win this by 10 from Ask Himself in second, who in turn finished a long way clear of Tango Boy.